Hi everyone, it is time for the very last video in this series from Small Victories by Johanna Basford using Staedtler Ergosoft pencils. So as it's the last one, we need to try and make this really special. We have a very interesting looking cake, we have some drizzle, we have some cream, we have some sort of decoration on the top. We have all sorts going on, so it should be quite easy to make it look rather delicious. Now our other cake with dribble, we did a chocolate one up here, look, with chocolate drizzle. Say dribble, drizzle. This one had sort of chocolatey drizzle, and I think we might go for a sort of pink or red one this time. I'm thinking maybe Victoria sponge with the, could it be? Yes, right. I just need to do something, hold on. I was momentarily away for you. I forgot to write down the pencils I used for yesterday's video. So I was just doing that before I slotted them all back into the tray. So I'm going to do a sort of jammy layer in the cake first. And I'm going to use 23 for that. Would that work? Yes it will. Just trying to just work out all my colours. So we want quite a thick layer here, so build up your layers, because remember jam is quite thick and shiny. It's got an intense colour normally. This is for my son, his favourite Victoria sponge, although he wouldn't want cream, or he likes a buttercream on it actually, to be fair. So yeah, he might like it with a drizzly something, as long as it was a buttercream and not a, you don't drizzle buttercream though, do you? Oh well. Now the drizzle I'm going to do in a pink, a sort of milky pink 25, so it'll look like a sort of pink, pretty pink icing. Why not? I mean, it could be a water icing, but let's pretend it's a buttercream that's sort of been drizzled, which I don't know how you would do that. You could just use your palette knife to spread it down the side of the cake a little bit. But I think these drizzly cakes are quite fun to colour, aren't they? I wonder if they're fun to make. I bet they are, but if it doesn't quite work, might be really messy. Anyway, I'm going to turn to the 16 and do the cake. I want it to just be like the plain cake, so I'm doing it really lightly. I'm using a circular motion to try and get a little bit of texture into the cake, but it's quite hard. And I'm just going to do all 3 layers quite gently, and then I'll come back to them in a minute. Oh, my nose is itching. Oh, I felt quite blocked up when I got up this morning. My son was sneezing away a lot. I was a bit worried because he's doing his placement week. So I'm just doing little blobs of colour just to make it look a bit less flat. This was a bit scruffy here anyway, so it looks quite unflat. But he took his hay fever tablet, but it didn't seem to make any difference. So I don't know if he thought it was a cold, not hay fever. I hope he's all right. He did get a nice big handkerchief. So it's got a Burberry hanky, which will look very posh. Now on the top here, I'm wondering what we've got really. Looks like a flump. I don't know if you know what that. It's like a marshmallow sweet that's twisty, but it probably isn't supposed to be that. What should we do? We could just do it any colour, couldn't we? Let's just colour it like it's a sweet. So let's do 20 first. I say sweet, and I remember that a lot of you would just say candy. My gran used to always say sweet for pudding or dessert. Instead of pudding or dessert, she would always say sweet, which used to interest me. I don't know where she used to have some interesting word use. She used to call a nappy or a diaper, she used to call it a napkin. 62. Whereas we would call a napkin like a serviette. So it was odd. I don't know where she got some of her words from. But maybe it's just old-fashioned. So she was an older generation. I'm going to use 61 for that little circle on the top. I don't know whether it's supposed to be a cherry or a blueberry or just a blob of a different type of candy or whatever. Now the leaves on it, I'm going to keep them quite pale. I'm going to go for the 50. I'm going to sharpen it. I'm going to try and fade them towards the tip, but I think that's going to be quite difficult. I shall do my best. I think my son would approve of this cake. I'm sure he'd eat a big slice. He might not just scrape off the icing if it was... I don't think he minds icing actually, because I'm trying to think of the colour, by the way, for the cake stand, and I think this violet... Oh, we did it over here though, didn't we? No, okay, I'll do this bluey violet. I don't know what it's actually called. 33. I always feel like it's quite violetty. Do that. Yeah, my he used to like an iced bun. I always think they're weird because it's a bun like one you would eat for your lunch with some cheese in, you know, a roll. Well, I'm saying roll, bun. In the UK we have lots of different words for bread roll. A bap, I don't know. Anyway, but an iced bun to me is like a savoury roll that you would use for your lunchbox with a icing on, and I always think they're really weird. This is 5. I'm going to try and put some shine on here. There. See, I don't want to put shine on the buttercream. This is buttercream, but I could put some on the jam. If you've done yours as chocolate drizzle or something that isn't see-through, then you could put some shine on it. But I don't think buttercream is usually very shiny. If it is, it's melting and separating. We don't want that. So there we are. There is our final little cake. Shall we look at the whole page? Now, just take my paper out from behind. Oops, getting caught on the edge of the desk where the two desks meet. The line. Oh, it's coming. My camera is very slow at zooming out while I'm recording, just to save you the dizziness, I think. So there is the finished page. It looks quite bleached out the top because my lamp is nearer to the top of the page than the bottom. Can't put it exactly above because then it shadows the tripod. It has to be under the tripod and behind the camera. It's all quite complicated. There must be better ways of doing it, but anyway, it works, I hope, for you. So there we are. I'm pleased with the page. It looks very bright, jolly and cheerful, which is rather nice. And I want to compare it to how I did it last time. I'm just grabbing my other version of this book so I can have a look. I don't know if you're interested. Maybe it's just me that's interested. Quite near the front, isn't it? Oh, here it is. There you go. So that pudding is quite similar-y. Yeah, it's almost the same, isn't it? Except I've got some bacon or something in there instead of cheese. It's different. And those got almost identical. That's quite interesting. That one's almost identical too. Got a chocolate cake again. Got a different colour bowl. Yeah, we did oranges instead of strawberries in that one. That one's quite similar. Very similar, except we got chocolate. Different colour on there. That one's really similar. We did all noodles, so this mine's more colourful now. That one's quite similar, isn't it? Except that one isn't chocolate. That cake looks quite boring. I think mine is a bit brighter. Again, looks like I had no idea what to do with that. And there's our final drizzle cake, which I did with this very similar pink. So that's interesting. And the top is nearly the same. There we go. So this one's a bit more vibrant. I wonder what I used for that page. I used the Staedtler Design Journey, so the Design Journey pencils rather than the Ergosofts. I do find that the Design Journeys are slightly harder, but also I may have just layered it up a bit more on this one. Anyway, that's enough blabbing. I'm going to go. Thank you for watching, especially if you watched all the episodes. I really appreciate it. It makes such a difference to the channel if you keep watching all through the series, but I know it's not always possible. But thank you. Have a super day, and there'll be something different tomorrow. Who knows what? But thank you so much. Have a super day and happy colouring.